Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I am your host, Willie Bragg, and this is a real quick video here that I decided to make before I go to work this evening. It's not really scripted and all that, but it's just something I want to go and share with everybody. As of this morning, I found out that Pat Robertson, the host of the 700 Club, died. Now, it is not in my nature to wish death on anybody, even people that I don't mean disagree with, but people that I view as evil. I mean, people that I felt like were a negative influence in our society. People that I would say that I even just despise or hate. It's just not in my nature to go and wish something like death on an individual. So I will not wish death, take delight in his death. But what I also will not do is I will not mourn over his passing. I will not say kind words about his passing, because Pat Robertson was a largely negative political figure in our society in the last more than last half century, I guess. I mean, well, I know the past 50 years, but I mean, he goes back further than that. And basically, to sum it up real quickly, Pat Robertson was basically a partisan hack more than anything else in his late years. I mean, but what he was more than anything else, he was basically he was a religious fanatic. And I'm not saying that you're a Christian that makes you a bad person. I'm nominally Christian, but what I'm saying is, if he took it to an extent that if you don't believe exactly the way he believes, then you're going to go and burn in hell and what have you. And I don't mean just on religious matters. We're talking about even just things like taxes or military spending budgets, things like that, or any political issue. If you didn't believe exactly the way he believed, you were an evil person, and that's what it came down to. And Pat Robertson, I mean, he was just I mean, I got familiar in the 1970s. I lived in a town in northeastern North Carolina. So he lived, I guess, in Norfolk, Virginia. I think it was in Norfolk, Virginia, actually in Virginia Beach, I think he lives. I think that's where his mansion's located. Anyway, I was used to that horrible program, the 700 Club. Not that it was watched a whole lot, but I would occasionally peer at it. And I'm going to tell you, I was telling a friend of mine earlier that the way I am politically largely reflects just some of the shit he used to say. Because, it was like every time you watch the show, it was like anything bad happens. And I'm going to use the word liberal because he did. And the word liberal is basically broadly meaning anything that's even remotely on the left to the far left. So it's a broad umbrella term. So anything bad happens, it was like, well, the liberals did it. The liberals did it. The liberals did this, and the liberals did that. And yeah. The liberals this, and the liberals that, and the liberals this, and the liberals that. Anything that was horrible and evil. Yeah, and it was very grating on me. Extremely grating. And I mean, he was a huge proponent of Christian Sharia, which, he was part of the religious right, the Christian right, to try to go and force religion down people's throats. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem with whether it's Christianity or any other religion doing this. We have separation of church and state. It's not explicitly said in the Constitution, separation of church and state, but the way it is written in the First Amendment, it means that. That is what it means. And we have freedom of religion. We also have freedom from religion, which means the same thing as freedom of religion. And Pat Robertson didn't see it that way. And so the same with the others, Jimmy Swaggart, John Hagee, Jerry Falwell, that sort. So he was incredibly anti-leftist, specifically obsessed. He was just obsessed with, he predicted that there would be, all his predictions never came true. And that the world was going to come to the end in 1982, and it was going to come to the end this year, because God apparently spoke it to him, and he had all these idiots that'll sit there watch and believe everything he would say. And if you didn't support the Reagan doctrine of standing up against the Soviets 100% all the way, you were just enabling the communists, And he was all obsessed with Contra aid to Nicaragua in the 1980s, that sort of thing. He was what was it, Zaire, former Belgium, Congo. There's I know that he's has some business ties over there where there's a massive exploitation of workers. So he was a massive corporatist too when he was alive. What else there is about him? Oh, let's not forget what a horrible homophobe he was. He was so incredibly anti-gay, anti-lesbian, bisexual. He was just obsessed with the issue of what he called homosexuality taking over everywhere, and just try, and his toxic homophobia was just, in a way, I mean, that in a way did a lot to make me open-minded about gay people. Like, this motherfucker is saying this, I know as a young age, I was like, there can't be anything wrong with people being gay with this motherfucker around. How in the hell people can listen to this guy? Massive Christian Zionist he was. And you got to be careful with people like Pat Robertson, because people like Pat Robertson, these evangelicals who sucks on Benjamin Netanyahu's cock all the time. These people, they pretend to love the Jewish people, but they loathe the Jewish people as well as they do the Palestinians. So they support Israel because they want that piece of land, real estate for themselves, and what they think is some kind of second coming or whatever because of their misinterpretation of biblical scripture. I think it has something to do with some Scofield Bible or something like that that brought that mindset of Christian Zionism. So Pat Robertson was, I would say, yeah, he was a Christian Zionist who was also anti-Semitic. I go there. Because most evangelicals are anti-Semitic, by the way. He was anti-LGBTQ, anti-Muslim, anti-Semitic. Yeah, I mean, he was just all across the board. He supported a lot of the human rights abuses, a big-time supporter of apartheid in South Africa, but he used the excuse that it would bring apartheid brings economic prosperity, supposedly to the segregated citizens of South Africa. That in spite of that, they had a higher standard of living than the rest of the continent, which I never bought. I never bought that argument. So, but that's a disguised way of being an absolute bigot too, a racist bigot. So, and he was a horrible neocon. He was a strong supporter of the Bush-Cheney doctrine of torture, Bush-Cheney doctrine of surveillance, a Bush-Cheney supporter of the Iraq War, of everything you can imagine that went wrong in our world in the last 2 decades. He was a strong supporter, just like a lot of evangelicals at the time, just like many at the time. So he was a horrible individual in many ways. Now, he started to fade away from the political scene and his role as the head of the 700 Club and all that, and that university, what was it called? Regent University, all that, because he was up in years. Well, he died today at the age of 93. Once again, I don't take delight over people's death, but am I going to shed a tear over Pat Robertson dying? Not really. I won't. I'm not going to say anything nice about the man. He was a piece of shit. He was a bigot. He was a greedy corporatist, and he was a neoconservative partisan hack. Oh, and he sat there. Here's another thing. In 1988, when he ran for president, he called the American Civil Liberties Union a terrorist organization. I mean, this is the kind of nutcase that's the mainstream of the Republican Party today. So I have no love lost for this asshole, and he was an asshole. So as far as I'm concerned, to the memory of Pat Robertson, all I have to say is fuck you. No respect, no condolences, no, not even any well wishes to your family, because they believe in the same shit you do, Pat Robertson. So there is that. So there is my take. And if somebody's offended, well, they're offended. I'll tell them, don't be a crybaby. If they're going to be, go to their Republican, right-wing, Christian, evangelical safe space. So anyway, we have here on the chat line, and I have to go right now. We have here on the chat line, Extra Boya. Warren, how are you doing? I'm looking forward to the Secret Show this coming Saturday. Woohoo! Let's see. He was killed by a 100-foot Jesus. Wow. Hey, Miguel. Hey, Miguel. My cable's working right now. Can you imagine that? Let's see. Hey, Extra Boya. Let's see. Arafat Nabaka says, oh yeah. So let's see here. The Yankee Tanky says, hey, Willie. Hey, how are you doing, Yankee Tanky? Keep up those videos. I always like those shorts. Let's see. John Hagee got shot plotting Israeli. Let's see. John Hagee got charts plotting Israelis destruction, but all American Christians are American friends. Not. Yeah. So the Walter Mondale year. Yep. Yeah. Walter Mondale. What could have happened if he would have won instead of Reagan? Let's see. The Willie Bragg Show. Nice. Thank you, Miguel. I appreciate that. And thank you, Yankee Tanky. I have to get out of here because I have to go to work, unfortunately. But I thought I'd share this with you all. An announcement. I will. Let's see. I'll be doing my live stream Saturday for KRTD Media, and you'll see that obviously at 9:00. Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, I will have Angie Moon back. She lives in the UK, and she's going to share her experience. This is the Pride Month series. A real nice person, became good friends with online. She's going to share her experience, what her life is like being a bisexual woman, and let's see, anything else I'm thinking of. I can't think of anything at the moment. So anyway, folks, I am going to get out of here because I got to go to work. So I will talk to you all later. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. Comment any way you disagree with what I have to say. We will have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Feel free to share the content on this channel. Oh, let me get rid of Pat Robertson there. I'm sorry. As a first, Phil, what was I saying? Yeah, go ahead and hit that notification bell, subscribe button for YouTube. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Yes, do that. Always read the corporate media because they have absolutely nothing at all to offer us. Never, under any circumstances, they do these days. And I will talk to you all next time. And until next time, remember, Cornel West for President 2024.